Good morning, afternoon, evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all are safe and sound in whichever part of the globe you are in. I am Aditya Medhi, a final year mechanical engineering student from College of Engineering Pune, and today I'm going to present a review article on the topic Overview of Contemporary Smart Systems Driven by Open Design Movement. The co-authors of my article are Abhishek Patange, Sujit Pardeshi, Aditya Patil, Rugved Wakchaure, and Rudresh Hegu from College of Engineering Pune, and Dr. Jegadeeshwaran from Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai. So by the end of this presentation, you will know exactly what open design movement is, what was my motivation behind this movement, some of the initiatives related to open design movement which are currently available on the internet, related work in open design movement which is done by some of the researchers till date, summary, findings and future scope for this movement, illustrations of open source hardware, and references. Open design movement. Well, you all might think that open design movement is a very old and archaic movement. But believe me, this was coined recently in 1997 by three people. They established open source as an alternative expression for free software. So basically, we are dealing with free softwares. It focuses on creation of hardware and software using the information which is available to all. This internet-driven movement is performed without any monetary compensation. Thus, I would say that open design is a form of co-creation where the final product is designed by the users rather than an external stakeholder such as a private company. Coming to open source software. Open source software releases a source code using a permit in which the grant is given to the consumers to study, change, distribute, and use the software by the patent holder for any purpose. It is easily and freely available to all on the internet. For example, one could simply go to the official website of Python and download the software for free. Moreover, some of the open source softwares also offer free training courses to get acquainted with the software. This model is a decentralized software development and is an apotheosis of what I call as an open collaboration. Now, some of the examples of this software are Python. As you all know, Python is a high-level, general-purpose and interpreted programming language. Clear and logical code can be written for various small and large-scale projects because of its language constructs and object-oriented approach. It has a comprehensive standard library due to which it is known as batteries included language. Second, Raspbian. Raspbian is a Debian-based operating system for the device Raspberry Pi. It includes a version of Wolfram Mathematica, which is an algebra program and a Pi edition of Minecraft, and a lightweight version of Chromium web browser. Other examples are Kyle C software, Visual C++, Apache OpenOffice, to name a few. Further, Swan tracking software, Freescale Code Warrior, PSM software, Zimra, and Sugar CRM find applications as open source software. Now coming to open source hardware. Open source hardware consists of physical artifacts of technology which are designed and offered under this movement. People can easily make the hardware at the comfort of their homes because the logic designs and hardware description language HDL code is shared with the public. OpenBeam, WikiHow, Hovelin, Ultimaker, Prusa, and RepRap are some of the examples of open source hardware. Well, so what motivated me to go for open design movement? Well, first of all, it's collaborative nature. We all can interact, share, and gain knowledge from members of the community. So this I feel is the best way of learning and growing. Second is its low cost and it is readily available everywhere. Third, it can be combined with proprietary software. Now, the best thing that fascinated me towards this movement is that to collaborate, you don't need to know any language. You can communicate in any language. You can belong to different countries and could still collaborate effectively. For example, if an Indian researcher wants to collaborate with a German researcher, he or she can do it easily without the barrier of language and still come out with the outcome which is as effective as what could have been back home. So, this is the thing that fascinated me to go for this movement. Some of the initiatives related to open design movement are Arduino. Like Arduino, as you all may know, is an open source electronics platform based on easy to use hardware and software. It is compatible with any operating system, which adds to its flexibility. This has proved to be advantageous because of its simple, clear programming environment. The next is Instructables. Now, it is a website having its expertise in do it yourself, its DIY projects, and is now being owned and operated by Autodesk. It also has a forum in which the enthusiast can seek immediate answers to their questions. Among other examples are Agua Clara, One Laptop Per Child, Open Course, Open Design Alliance. Further, Zoetrope. Zoetrope is an open and free vertical axis wind turbine, which is manufactured using common engineering materials. And well, you may not believe me, it is open sourced. Via OpenBook, it is a laptop design from VIA Technologies. Its design of laptop case was published as an open source. Few other examples are Sensorica, Thingiverse, Open Structures, and open source ecology. Now coming to some of the related work in open design movement. So this figure illustrates the work done by researcher D. Bhaskar, who presented a microcontroller-centered solar tracking system incorporating multiple functions for a solar cell, which is developed to monitor its output power. You can see how this diagram is made using household items such as boxes, cardboard, etc. On your left is a figure in which K. Govindaraju developed an innovative method for preventing rail accidents. An AVR controller, which works on the Kyle C software, is used for this application. The initial plan was to portray by using three distinct nodes and sensor duos in which databases of train are identified, which are later used to give the evidence between the train and station with the help of serial port interactions. If there is a slight mismatch in the IP address, it will automatically alarm the driver, who can then stop the train automatically or manually by a buzzer. Following this is the work done by Madhukar Chavan, who proposed an AVR-centered control system which uses actual time data for logging temperature. On the right, you can see its block diagram. On top is a block diagram which is used by MAA Mashood, who presented development and design of economical microcontroller centered single-phased water pump device. Below, N. Anjulata developed a system in order to monitor one of the most important human body parameter, blood glucose. Now, this is achieved using a PIC controller, which is programmed using the most basic and simple C language. As soon as the sample is injected in the measuring device, the blood glucose concentration is displayed on the screen. Now, using this open source device, a fairly accurate and precise result was obtained. Abid Abbasi presented design of autopilot of an unmanned aerial vehicle built on Freescale microcontroller. On the left, you can see the block diagram of the present of the paper. Subita M created a tracing system to find the need of human presence in crucial regions with the help of a controller, which is coded in C language. Again, on the right, you can see the block diagram. On the left, Mohammad Arif Hussain developed a AVR microcontroller-based home automation system, following which Mohammad Latif developed an Android application using Arduino microcontroller for a smart home automated control system. So these are few of the works that I have mentioned here. If you want to know more such works, you can refer my review article. Here is a table of summary showing you different smart applications that features this movement. Parameter that is monitored, controller, and software used are also mentioned. From the references, we can see that this movement has already started to gain pace. Many of the smart applications were developed in the initial years of the last decade, which means in the future there is a lot of scope for this movement. Now coming to findings and future scope. Well, this movement has a very bright future, believe me. Though it is nascent and not well reached among the researchers today, it holds enormous potential for years to come. For example, tools like TensorFlow have helped to democratize machine learning by making machine learning something that is implementable within an enterprise. With the advancement in technology, possibilities and opportunities to develop innovative software has increased. Hence, this movement is bound to grow and get bigger. From this figure, we can see that products are created by creating companies and communities in creative and productive open source development ecosystem and thereby introduce open source hardware as a viable business strategy for the future. So here are some of the references on which my reference article is based. So you can see these references in my review article. With this, I hope you all must have understood the meaning of open design movement. Its two components, open source software and open source hardware. I also hope this brief presentation motivates you to incorporate this movement in your research. Thank you.